It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is What Made the Cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Doug Smith brings you this portion of the program, an incredible selection of Kia, Subaru, Chevy, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram. You can find them in American Fork, Spanish Fork, and in Linden. So easy enough to do. Mike Folta joining us on the program. He's the play-by-play voice of the Utah Mammoth, brought to you by Hercules First Federal Credit Union, growing stronger together. Mike, how are you, man? It's been a couple crazy weeks for you. I don't think there's a time during the season it's not a couple crazy weeks for you.
Oh, it's a crazy season, and I tell you what, nobody's opting out of bowl games over here.
I know.
We are rolling right along in the NHL season. We got the champs in town, the Florida Panthers, two-time back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. They are in town to take on the Utah Mammoth, and it's a crazy stretch, 21 games in 37 days, just coming off the road trip. We're back at home a little bit, but it's what we love to do, and if we didn't love it, we couldn't survive.
Yeah. I was looking at the list. Which bowl game was Purdue invited to this year?
There has never been a better time to be irrelevant on the college football scene than right now. Leave me out of all that, Matt.
Listen,
you know what?
I think they were looking for somebody to play in the Birmingham Bowl. So
the 5 and 7 teams that all turned it down, and they still never called Purdue. Come on. I mean,
I think it's us and Oklahoma State that don't have a power win, like a Power 4 win the last 2 years.
You got basketball, and don't say don't. It's
how'd that Iowa State game go?
It's a young year. It's a young year.
Yeah,
it's fine.
That was a tough way to start the day.
Mike, we were talking about all these things with about this game and about this team right now, and I had the privilege to be able to watch these games most of the time with my boys who are Mammoth fans now, right? I can't imagine a group of young kids who aren't on board if they're watching these games. And, you know, it's been a rough go here, and kids are dramatic. The media's dramatic sometimes. I think we turn into children sometimes when we start going back and forth, and it's either going really, really well and it's amazing, or it's terrible and the sky's falling. What's going right and what's going wrong with this team right now?
What's going right is the compete level and the battle level, especially what we saw on Monday against the Los Angeles Kings, which is a really hard team to play against. They play a boring style of hockey, and they force you to kind of play the style you need to play once you eventually get to the playoffs. And we saw that for Utah against LA. Mammoth didn't win. They hit 3 posts. They did a lot of really good things. They converted on the power play. They had a couple breakdowns in the first period that bit them in the backside. But that compete level was there. Another thing that's going right is we're seeing Karel Vejmelka return to the form that we saw last year from Veggie in what was a career season for him. He went 6 periods, just allowing 1 goal through 2 games against Vancouver and Anaheim. Was pretty solid against LA in the loss on Monday. Got beat on a couple breakaways, but, I mean, those are basically 50-50, whether you stop those or not. And it took a bouncing puck to get by him in the third period for LA to get their third goal. So Karel Vejmelka playing at a very high level, and this team playing very hard. What's going wrong for the Mammoths is that they're without kind of their most creative and most dynamic offensive player right now. Logan Cooley will miss his 3rd game tonight due to injury. He leads the team currently in goals. So that's a big missing piece up front. And every team goes through injuries, especially with this condensed schedule. Utah's been pretty fortunate injury-wise, relatively speaking, but losing Cooley is not what you want to see when you're trying to find yourself offensively a little bit. But it feels like with the way this team has been trending from the back half of the road trip into the homestand, that they're gonna play the game the right way in the offensive zone, and that means getting to the interior, especially against this Florida team, which forces you to get to the interior if you want to score.
So Logan Cooley out is big news. Hopefully he's back sooner than later, but it's tough. I saw the injury, don't know how serious it is, but obviously he's got to be in a lot of pain, and we'll see how this all develops. But they're obviously going to miss him, and they can't really replace him. What do they do to kind of make up for that lack of production that they're going to be missing with him? What can they do offensively? Who's the guy that has to step up in his absence?
I don't know if there's one guy. I think Dylan Gunther's a name that comes to mind. He scored a power play goal for Utah on Monday. And Cooley missed some time last year due to injury. He missed 7 games due to injury. And in that time, Gunther was also hurt for a little bit of that. But when Gunther came back and Cooley was out of the lineup, Dylan Gunther was like a goal per game player, basically. Wow. So we saw Gunther kind of step up to the plate when Cooley was out. But you also have, some other incredible offensive options on this team that have been really good offensive players in this league for several years now, and Clayton Keller and Nick Schmaltz. Those are still the two leading scorers on the team. So those guys have been really good throughout the year. And J.J. Peterka has been playing with them as well. Peterka has 12 goals on the year, and without Cooley in the lineup, Peterka has the most out of the remaining team. And that group, when they get rolling, they are fun to watch. It's like a laser light show in the offensive zone because there is so much skill between Peterka, Schmaltz, and Keller.
So we look at seasons, sometimes we break it up into quarters or halves, and you kind of go, well, at this point this, and at this point that. How much we look at the standings all the time, and obviously playoff race stuff happens post the new year. I have no clue how the Olympics work into how they do the NHL season, because obviously all these guys who are playing on these teams, like, number one is to maybe win the Stanley Cup, but playing for their team for a chance at a medal at an Olympics, everything kind of goes on pause. But how does that work? I don't know. I don't remember the timing of all these things.
Yeah, we'll get the Olympics up in Milan coming in February. It's going to be a 3-week break, so it's a really long break in February, and that's why the rest of the schedule is so condensed, because it has to get squeezed into a smaller amount of time. And you said it, like, playing for your country in the Olympics is what hockey players dream about. Obviously, the Stanley Cup is the ultimate prize, but winning Olympic gold is highly regarded as well. It's right up there. And for a lot of these players, it'll be, the honor of their career to represent their country. And if it's anything like what we saw at the Four Nations tournament this past February, it's going to be just electric international play. We saw heated rivalries between the Swedes and the Finns. They don't like each other very much, but then obviously you've got the U.S. and Canada that put on a show for the sporting world, while you had the NBA All-Star game, like jumping through hula hoops and stuff like that, whatever skills competition they were doing, and you had U.S. and Canada hitting each other in the face during exhibition games. So we're expecting incredible games coming up in Milan in February, but there has been some intrigue because it sounds like the rink is 3 feet shorter than it was supposed to be as they're building it right now. I'm not sure if they're using, like, JJ as a contractor or something and he just fudged the numbers, but somehow the dimensions aren't what we thought they were going to be. And they're going through it a little bit on the construction side in Milan as they try and build this new rink for the Olympics.
Mike, that doesn't seem like something that you could get wrong, because I feel like at the Olympic level, correct me if I'm wrong, the dimensions would be pretty clear as to what they would be. I don't know how you screw something up like that.
Yeah, I don't either. It's like they only had, 4 years to prepare, right? I mean, they knew this was coming for a long time.
Usually it's like 12. I mean, it's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, we're here in Salt Lake City, we're already building for the Olympics, these venues and infrastructure and things like that. And so I'm not quite sure how that happens. Now, you have to keep in mind, too, hockey rinks are a little bit, not quite to this level, but a little bit like baseball parks, where at the Olympic level, at the international level, I should say, a lot of times there's slightly different dimensions than in the NHL. In the NHL, they're all the same. But at the international level, sometimes the rinks are a little bit wider, a little bit bigger. There's more skating and more space out there at the Olympic game. Whereas in North America, our game is more predicated on physicality, winning small area battles, things like that. But I don't know how they get the dimensions wrong. They must have taken, taken an Indiana University math class or something.
Oh, boy. I love it.
I like that.
I actually love that.
Little rivalry zing.
Yeah.
Well done. Well played. It's pretty cool to have the Panthers in town. We only get to see them once a year, but two-time defending Cup champs are kind of slogging along here. They're only 2 points ahead of the Sabres for the worst record in the East, which is a big shock. What's up with the Panthers right now? Why are they not dominating the East like they have the last 3 years?
Yeah. Well, one big thing is injuries. They've lost arguably their two best players due to injury. Alexander Barkov is widely regarded as one of the best, if not the best, defensive forwards in the game. He's got plenty of offensive skill as well, but it's typically his job to shut down other players' best players. And he's been out after he tore his ACL and his MCL back in September. So that's a huge loss. They could get him back for the playoffs, but he hasn't played at all in the regular season yet. And Matthew Tkachuk, who was one of those Team USA Four Nations heroes from last February, he's also been out due to injury. They're expecting him back sometime soon here in December, but he hasn't played yet. So, I mean, if any team loses your two best players for an extended period of time, that's gonna really make things difficult. They've had some other injuries as well to some of the supporting cast from last year's Cup run. But aside from just the injuries, these guys have actually set a record over a 3-year span for the most amount of games played through 3 years between regular season and playoffs. They've won back-to-back Cups, but remember a couple of years ago, they also lost in the Stanley Cup Finals when Vegas won in 2023. So they've been to the finals 3 straight years. They've played as much hockey as anybody during that span, and it's catching up to them a little bit right now. Injury's a big part of that. Their goaltender, Sergei Bobrovsky, who's all-world in the playoffs, he's been a little pedestrian here this year, but again, a lot of that is because of what's in front of them, not having some of the regulars in the lineup.
Mike, something that has been kind of a theme is people are looking at this team and they talk about the young talent and the veterans. Who are you seeing stepping up in the moments when things have been coming up short for this team? Because I know that there have been some guys who are like, hey, we need to get some vocal leadership in this thing. We need to get some fire. And anytime somebody questions effort and a couple guys get sent down, then that always kind of puts a fire under you. But who are some of these guys who have stepped up and kind of taken over that leadership role? Obviously, Keller's got the C on his chest, but I feel like it's a big group of a lot of older guys who have a ton of experience, and they could get these young guys whipped into shape.
Yeah, it's been one of my favorite things about this team, watching the team respond to difficult situations or watching the team respond when one of the older guys does call them out in the media or call the group out as a whole. And yes, Keller is the captain and the leader. He wears the C, but there's a bunch of other guys that have won Stanley Cups on this team. There's 9 total Stanley Cups on this roster. Mikhail Sergachev is a big voice in that room. He's Utah's top defenseman. But also Ian Cole and Nate Schmidt. We've heard from them in the last couple of weeks, both kind of saying to the media in post-game comments after losses, hey, there's a certain style we need to play to be a playoff team, and we're not yet there. We're not playing the right way. We're not playing the way we need to play. And every time that happens, whether it's Cole or Schmidt, the guys we've heard from recently, the team responds and makes adjustments. And I think you have a problem if things are being said like that and there's no response from the team. That might say, like, okay, these guys are checked out a little bit, but it's been the opposite. Whenever there is a rough patch, those are some of the guys that step up. And I mentioned Nate Schmidt. He got his Stanley Cup last year with the Florida Panthers, so he's well acquainted with this group, and he got a Stanley Cup ring last night, and he'll be going up against his old teammates here this evening.
That's pretty cool. How did they present that to him?
I think they got a dinner somewhere, and they had boxes for Nate Schmidt and our backup goaltender Vitek Vanacek, our two guys who were with Florida last year, and they have this really cool box that lights up when you open it up, and that's a lot of bling on those guys' hands. So it's pretty cool. And whenever they travel around to see the old players who were on that team last year, but with a different team this year, whoever's in charge of the rings brings those, and there's a little presentation. So pretty cool of the Panthers to make a little production out of it.
That's awesome.
Mike Folta, play-by-play voice of the Utah Mammoth, going to get the call tonight, of course, with the Utah Mammoth and the Florida Panthers. I got to see one in the Panthers building last year.
That's cool.
We were just happened to be down there, and it was And it was a really close one. Mike, you probably remember that one. It was like they played their guts out, and of course this was a Stanley Cup caliber team, and to have that go their way. I don't know if it went to overtime or if it was just. Oh no, it was. It was like seconds left of overtime. Florida put the winner in, but yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. We're looking forward to it. Thanks for all you do and coming on the program here with us. And we're looking. One of these days when I'm actually in the building for the game, I'm going to come down and harass you. I always get cold feet because I'm like, nah, I'm not going to bother him. But I'm going to wait till I'm going to know for sure when you're in a break, and then I'm going to come over and harass you. So
20 minutes of harassment in the afternoons, not enough? You have to come by during game hours? All right.
I'll wear that big Boilermaker hat. Just to
oh,
just so
you can call the game if you wear the block P on your hat for all I
care. Thanks, Mike. We appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
Thanks, Mike.
Appreciate you guys. Tuss up.
There you go. Tuss up at the end.
I like that.